Alright guys, it's time to read another not technically breakfast report from the author of the cover of Andy and Lele. Question and answers, responses to game related questions out the comments. All is well, still making content without issues. Episode 4, the K part 2 of 2 is coming along nicely. Last time you were given the option to leave questions about the game and story so far, some have been combined and others rewarded for more concise answers. If you're not interested in the Q&A, skip to the end. There's something I want to ask you. Alright, Q&A auto responses. How does one pronounce Lele? Lele. Lay as in lay down. Well, guess I've been saying that right this whole time. Good to know. Merge when? We're in discussions regarding contracts and licensing and logistics and other legal hoopla that needs to be dealt with. It will be a while, but it will happen. I still don't know who's gonna buy those covered merch because I really don't want some kids out there get bullied for having maybe an Andrew or Ashley key change on their bags or something like that. It's not like we're that desperate for merch, but oh well. You mentioned the possible release of your old game jam novels. Which ones and when? Not even God knows. Thank you all. Thank you for all the interest. The old game jams here is referring to Nameless previous games, Checking the Castle, the Valetian, Red I Have, Candy Scabs, and No Good Noel. Those games were taken down to protect the author from the tossing the term. The author did say that they're going to maybe go back to these old game jams sometimes in the future, but for now they still need to finish the Coven, so we're gonna give them time, man. We just gotta wait for Coven to be finished, which probably take like maybe at least 2 years. What inspired the Coven of Andy and Lele? How did you come up with the story? This one was the most asked questions. Luckily, I have already answered in detail here. So where is gonna go? Oh, this is the last devlog of 2024. Okay, so this basically answers how the game was made. Nice. In case you don't know inspiration and all that, then just read it again. Is it okay to refer to you by your old screen name? Namely was the company name. It was acquired and discontinued. It's like calling me Coca-Cola. I don't feel any way about it, but still thank you. Your concern warms my heart. I don't have any current usernames, so I just go by Alter. I will still call the Alter Namely because I talk about Namely's older visual novels, old game jams a lot, so Namely made these games, so that name must be proper. People have branded this as the incest game, despite having a lot more to it. How does it feel? They're lost. I'm glad not everyone has such a shallow one-note interpretation, because this burning garbage heap is a symphony. I mean, people are still like, on Twitter you have people complaining about Coven being the incest game, and then on the community you have people complaining about how they interpret the characters. Like some said that Andrew is a victim, the parents are a victim, and Ashley is a evil demon monsters or psychopath or something, and on the other hand you have other people who said that everyone is literal just asshole. There's a lot of interpretation here, so it's always fun to have these kind of discussions. If everyone just think that this game is good or is bad, then it will not benefit the author in the long run. Do you think your audience is more male or female? The target demographic is women who enjoy true crime shows, gothic romance, and dark comedy. I have no idea who show up though, and it doesn't matter. Everyone is welcome to give me money. I guess at the end this is what matters the most. They make a game and they make money from it. This is every indie game dev's dream, to make a game and to make money from it. Explicit sex hentai porn not safe for work scenes when? Never. Extremely based. I mean, don't get me wrong, the game is still psychological horror game, so why must there be actual not safe for work stuff in there? I don't see why there must be some sex scenes. It doesn't have the narrative. What does Andrew study? Pedantry. Okay, so we have 2 screenshots of Andrew and Ashley, probably in the tower that we'll see in the previous devlog. Ashley says, I thought you're an English major. Isn't language supposed to be your forte? Forte, Ashley. 40 is a number. I'm not sure if this is like in the in-between realm or the new house or something. It can be the lighthouse too, but like they're buying groceries. There's like some, is that a gun or a cleaver, or just some clothes? And what kind of bathroom is this, bro? And then you have like, I'm not sure if it's like mascara or something. What determines the color of someone's soul in the game? Great questions. Find out in DK. So as we know, Ashley's soul is pitch black dark, and then you have Andrew's soul, which is gray and little red. Mrs. Grape's soul is an unhatched torso, and then you have Mr. Grape's soul is white. Well, guess we're gonna find out till then. Is Andrew lying about his nightmares? No, he just exaggerates the frequency of them. Did the lady in 302 actually try to shoot Andrew? Yes, she lunged for the nail gun but didn't make it in time. So it turns out that Andrew was telling the truth and not really, killing the 302 lady right after Ashley left, as some people would theorize. When you take a look at the dialogues again, Andrew was literally listening to what Ashley said. Does Ashley or Andrew have cluster B type personality disorder? Shoehorning the character into real-life diagnosis would only serve to diminish the narrative and cause contradictions in the way their symptoms would or wouldn't manifest. Rather than seeing their behavior through the lens of this or that affliction, it's more fruitful to analyze the cause and effect of in-universe events. I guess we should not get too scientific with the diagnosis disorders or personality traits and all that. Do you do anything with the batteries from episode 1? Yes. If you don't have the batteries in your save files, then you better go and do it now. Is the company of Andy and Lily related to any other games? Is there a shared universe where your games take place in? No. That's kind of sad. I mean, just recently we got the crossover mod between Candy Scabs, which is a nameless old game, and Coffin. That mod was really nice, not gonna lie. If you want to check it out, then it's in the description. What inspired the character names? A Google search for the most common names in the 90s. Damn. Is Ashley disinterested in sex? Rather than disinterested, she doesn't want to grow up. Sex doesn't accommodate her fantasy of Andy and Lily, which is a dynamic where Andrew nurtures hers unconditionally. The crux of their immersion is Ashley projecting all her unmet needs, platonic and sexual alike, onto Andrew, while expecting him to be a safe object that never reciprocates or asks anything of her. The troubles ahead show what the trinkets were what they were for a reason. Technically just say that Ashley is not the one lusting or having horny thoughts this whole time. It's just the Andrew. And again, the incest vision is shown to be something extremely bad that can cause a lot of troubles ahead. But a lot of people still think it's romanticized or glorifying the subject anyway. I don't get it. Why are you making decay first? It sucks ass. Burying one's problems and retaining everything is hunky-dory doesn't solve anything. In fact, it often makes matters worse, although unpleasant. True chaos and mayhem can only be achieved by unearthing the root cause of one's issues and addressing the underlying decay. We have to go through decay in order to earn burial. Well, that's sadistic, but okay. We just have more contents to consume at the end of the day, so it's a win-win. How tall are Ashley and Andrew? Ashley is small and tiny, Andrew is tall and whiny. Real. The talking sprites are not at all representative of their heights, as they are level for readability. In the CGs, you can see Andrew pretty much towers over Ashley, despite him hunching down a lot of the time and her wearing heels. Cleavage, viewage, vantage point. Discussing it's suspicious, man. God damn. What's the size of Andrew's PP? PP be big. Why did they even bother answering these questions? Jesus. What's the size of Ashley's awesome fat tits? Smaller than advertised. She was starved for like nearly 3 months. How can she have fat tits? Which character do you hate the most? If I'm not entertained by at least some aspect of a character, I don't write them. Therefore, there isn't really one I would scorn. I mean, almost every character in this game is a baddie. Maybe except for the wardens and the coders and the headman and who is your favorite character? The overall narrative is more fun than any singular character. Since the cast has been written to build upon one another, none of them would work in isolation. It's all about toxic codependency. And now we have a flashback cutscene of Mrs. Graves and Mr. Graves trying to do something on the couch. Oh my love, I knew we would be on the same page. It's either about the Nina incident or it's about them selling siblings to the organ harvesting company. And I think we also gonna have the sprite for Mr. Graves. There have been so many, famous sprite of Mr. Graves up to this point. Well, we gotta play the game to see it. What did Mom want to talk to Andrew about? This is referring to when Mrs. Graves tried to talk to Andrew before the sacrificing ritual in episode 2. This is a mildly interesting plot beat that showcases their similarity. Both Mom and Andrew spend the day assessing the situation. Both arrive to the same conclusion. Duo leaves quietly, and everyone pretends they were never there. The reasons were different due to knowing different things, but essentially they both wanted to avoid drawing attention. Mother wanted to convey this plan to Andrew, though it would have been brought up in a sub-story about how hard she had it and lies how she didn't know what went on at the apartment. They would talk more about how Andrew and Ashley should start their own lives already, the subtext being get lost and stay lost. Should Andrew pretend to buy any of it, he would leave with Ashley the next morning and never contact the parents again. As to why Ashley can be resent for the talk, she would call bullshit, making the pretense of the conversation impossible. Both Mom and Andrew need to lie about what's happening to feel better about it. But as seen in the game, the situation escalates before anyone can get a word in. Because of this, Mom's plan changes to that scene in the All Life Branches gag. What little goodwill remains for her shitty kids has been irreversibly exhausted. It just has to happen, I guess. Are All Life Branches endings canon? Everything seen in the All Life Branches gag is canon except Andrew's behavior. Everyone else is in character and following the game's canon plot. For real. Some of y'all need to stop asking for a route where Andrew literally just accept the parents' deal. It just doesn't work that way, honestly. Why did the organ trafficking ring allow the parents to leave? Their operation did not allow for force at that point in time, so they didn't have guns when the quarantine started. Only one of them has a gun, so they probably didn't get paid enough anyway. You show a lot of teasers that take place in flashbacks. Will the majority of the next episode take place in the past? That's just me avoiding spoilers for the main plot. Will these same flashback scenes be in Burial too? They aren't relevant in Burial, you can only see them in Decay. So we are going to have just as many flashback scenes in Burial, and that's gonna take quite some time to make. Oh my god. Will there be a happy end? Wow, yes, of course. And the happy end is they just die. I mean, we all see this coming, honestly. Any tips for aspiring game devs? Write your own engine, sell your house, and quit your job to make your first game ever, as long as it's an MMORPG. Start a video blog about your game to make sure you don't have time to actually develop it. Worship social media, spend all day absorbing negativity, and sacrifice everything to cater to the whims of strangers. The others imply that Namely is still ghosting the fandom and the mainstream media overall. There's always some issues around, but honestly, just stick to what you know and do what you want to do. Don't listen to strangers. Read marketing advice written by people who would never ship a game. It is like trying to say something about Kid 9. Switch engines midway through development. On top of that, repeatedly remake already finished contents and remember to keep starting side projects. Finally, and most importantly, make sure to neglect your physical and mental health until you burn out, because that's when you can finally put your game on an infinite hiatus. If despite your best efforts you end up finishing a game, make sure you don't test the build before releasing it. Hope this helps. And I think that's enough Q&A. There were so many questions asked, which I'm grateful for, but this has gone on long enough as it is. How about I ask you something now? Questions. Has your opinion on the release format changed these past few months? Should there be a revolt on releasing episode 3 Decay, Part 1 True Alone? Kind regards with a dash bashful, the author. Personally, I will still stay with the original decision, which is waiting for the full Decay route to be released, because again, episode 3 Decay is gonna have like a cliffhanger ending, so imagine just waiting a few more months to see where it goes from there. It will be madness again. People would be angry that the game ends so abruptly. Not to mention the meltdown on Twitter or any other social media out there. Everyone would just flock to watch videos about this game. They would try to find anything that they can hate on. On the other hand, I don't want the game to be released when other bigger titles like GTA 6 or Deltarune come out, so at least there should be a specific date when episode 3, 8, and 4 are going to be released to avoid other bigger titles. Maybe it's just better for the game to be released when other bigger titles come out, because that way people will just care shitting on other games and leave this game alone. I guess that's it for this month's devlog. There's no video, only some screenshot, which is kind of suspicious, kind of questionable, but still it's very nice. This looks like Andrew is answering a call from someone, like Julia, and Ashley is hugging him, just hugging, wholesome hugging, Just hugging him, it's very wholesome when you think about it in a positive way. God, I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hope you have fun. I hope you all think about the questions. Should there be a revolt, or should we just keep waiting as we always do? And goodbye. See you in the next Devlog review video.